Hello and welcome back to Proactive New York. Joining me today is Kent Wilson, CEO at Alpine Holdings. Kent, good to see you. How are you?
Hey, Christine, it's great to see you as well.
Kent, I do want to start off the conversation by saying congratulations, as the company has begun trading its shares on the Nasdaq. So congrats there. Why don't you first take us through what kind of led to this point in the company's history?
Yeah, it's been a interesting journey to get here. In fact, it's been longer than 9 months that most of our shareholders have witnessed. But for us on the management side, it's been 7+ years in the making. And so when you really look at the journey that got us here, it was interesting in the fact that it's not only taken 7 years to get here, but the creation and the foundation that we laid to get to this point was something very unique and very special. And as a guy and a CEO that's been a part of other companies and witnessed them transform, what we have at Alpine is very unique. And it's written all over our employees' faces. If you go to any of our subsidiaries, whether it be California, Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Florida, Arizona, anywhere you go, it is written on their faces, and they know we do things that matter. And what I mean by that is, I wrote this in my shareholder letter, but we don't build electric cars. We don't necessarily build air particle sensing machines that detect highly infectious pathogens. We don't, necessarily operate hospitals. We don't sell nutraceuticals to hundreds of thousands of people annually to, help their lives get better. But we do make the things that make those things work. If you're driving an electric car right now, there's a decent chance that the circuit boards and the wire harnesses were made by us. I can't tell you who that is, but the reality is we do those things and they're important. And we're doing fundamentally awesome things that will only be enhanced as we get listed and trading, or as we are now trading on the Nasdaq. So it's a monumental time in our history, and we're so excited to be here, and we're very happy to have our shareholders along the ride with us. So yeah,
that is great to hear. And along with the uplisting, you have promoted Larry Zick as CFO. Tell me a bit about his background for those who might not be familiar with him.
Larry's an awesome guy. So I was a former CFO, and I look for really 3 character traits or things that are successful metrics within a CFO. And Larry has helped me add a 4th, which is awesome. A CFO needs to be a good scorecard keeper and check the box and make sure that you're accounting for things correctly. They also need to be a good cop. And that's usually where most, saying no to things, and that's what their attitude is. But that's where most CFOs end. Great CFOs are ones that are good scorecard keepers, they're good cops, and they're also deal makers. They seek to understand what goes on behind the scenes so that they can say yes to a deal. They help the CEO, obviously ground, ideas that are not functional or good. But if it is something that it's part of the drive behind a company and the management team, they figure out ways to get behind it responsibly. And that's what a good deal maker is. But Larry adds another characteristic, what I just love. A good CFO, a great CFO can't take himself too seriously. Larry is a breath of fresh air when it comes to responsibility, but he also has a very fun and jovial manner to himself, and people want to learn from him. So it's been a blessing having him. I was super excited to make the decision to appoint him. I knew I was going to get there, but I wanted to groom him a little bit and then and add him, and he has certainly deserved it. So we're very excited about Larry joining the team on the CFO level.
Those are great traits to have, definitely. So now that you are trading on the Nasdaq, what does your acquisition strategy look like?
Well, the acquisition strategy is only going to get more robust. Obviously, we added 2 companies in May, Alternative Labs and Thermal Dynamics, both great companies on their own right, and will do great things for us in the future. But we have so much more to talk about, and what we're going to release to the world here in the coming weeks and months is, how do I say this? I really can't tell you until we release it, but they are pretty phenomenal. Both of them are what we believe are transformational companies for the company, and I think our shareholders will be very excited when we get a chance to finally talk about those.
Well, one that I do want to bring up that you have announced today is the acquisition of Identity Technologies. What can you tell me about them?
Yeah, Identified Technologies is been a company we've been looking for a long time. When we bought Vayu, our aerospace drone company, and Impossible, and we ended up merging together, they are amazing hardware pieces. Our hardware can fly with most software. When I talk about add-on software, mapping and those type of things. But Identified Technologies is a 3D mapping company. And what makes them unique is the AI and machine learning behind it, but also the ability to add to Vayu a hardware software stack. So not only is Vayu able to produce what I would call groundbreaking drones into the market for various different purposes, but the ability to see behind what the landscape is and really understand it and measure and take unique calculations on subsidence of the ground or new anomalies that pop up. We have many opportunities in that market. You go look at oil and gas, to land and ranch, to the military aspects when you're looking at troop deployment and buildup of assets in an area. All these things that can be done with the Identified Technologies 3D mapping software, and you tether that to a world-class suite of drones like Vayu's G1, G2, and US1, and in the future US2. This is a very powerful add-on, bolt-on to that company. So we're excited about it. We have big plans for it, and we'll be announcing more details on this latest acquisition soon.
Kent, good to see you. Thanks very much.
Hey, Christine, it was great to see you as well, and thank you very much.